Hey YouTube, I'm Coach Dragonmar and welcome to my post-plant guide for attackers and the start of my new definitive Valorant guide series where I will be covering any and every topic in the game to help make you the best player that you can be. So as a Valorant coach, I have tons of ideas for this series, but please leave a comment if there is a topic that you want covered in one of these guides. And if you're interested, check out my coaching options available and remember to leave a like and subscribe for more videos like this. I have a ton of great stuff planned. Now, if you're struggling to defend, once you get that spike down and suddenly the enemy team just runs through you, gets a quick defuse, this video was made for you. But first, I do want to thank today's sponsor. This video is sponsored by Valorant Tracker. Stop beating your head into the wall with 500 hours in aim trainers and start taking advantage of Valorant Tracker's in-game app that can give you the important insight into what you need to do to rank up. Valorant Tracker has in-depth statistics of your gameplay for you to analyze, from positive and negative trends in your recent games, overall KD and ADR broken down by agents, and even win rates on maps that are broken down by attack and defense. I use Valorant Tracker while coaching to identify areas of strength and weakness. It truly does help. Checking headshot rates with rifles or map win rates can tell us all we need to know about what to start focusing on. Valorant Tracker also shows live match statistics like ADR, enemy ranks, and kills per round, helping you track your contribution to the team. Or maybe you're like me and learning some new lineups. Valorant Tracker has you covered with guides and lineups for every agent. The best part is that it's completely free. Check it out yourself with the link in the video description. Today, guys, we'll be focusing on the attacker side of a post plant. So this is defending the spike once you plant it. Essentially, the guide structure today is simple. We're going to cover what post plants are, why they're important, and why people struggle with them. We'll be moving into a lot of the very important concepts that you must understand for post plants. Then we'll be getting into some of the more nitty-gritty, sort of these mental steps or checks that you should be doing every single time the spike goes down to make sure you're not missing anything. And then finally, we'll go into some actual examples from my own gameplay. First things first, let's cover what a post plant is. So essentially, a post plant is whenever the spike goes down, that timer starts running. The 45 seconds is when you start the post plant phase, right? Now, why is it important? Well, there is a different sort of level of intensity when it comes to these post plants because of the timer, meaning there's a lot more focus on a very small part of the map. And what's with the struggle? Well, the struggle comes from a lot of different things. Oftentimes it's over aggression, poor positioning related to your teammates, really bad ability usage, essentially wasting it, and then finally a lot of timing misplays, right? These are where the main struggles come from when it comes to defending the post plant. All right, starting things off, part 0. Before we even begin, please clear the entire site. Whenever you guys are going into site, you need to make sure it's clear first. A lot of times a defender is going to be hanging out into like a back site area, especially behind like site boxes. They'll just swing around, kill 2 of you for free. We never want that to happen, right? Please clear the site, especially if you're not the spike planter. Let them get right onto that site and plant as fast as they can. You should be clearing for them, getting that info and protecting them. Now, part 1 here is covering the important topics when it comes to post plants, and there's a few that I want to go over. First and foremost, we're starting with playing in an advantage or a disadvantage. So when you're up or down players in a post plant as an attacker, you do actually want to play a little differently, right? And there's a lot of nuances to this, but overall, I think it holds true. When you're up players, you can play a little more safe. You can look for trades with your teammates, play those numbers advantages, and then also play closer to or on site. Now, when you're down players, though, this is generally when you want to be a little more aggressive. You're looking to get those early picks, especially on rotates. You can catch the enemy team rotating kind of with their pants down, the perfect play. And generally, you're looking to create a little more space in these type of situations, just because now you guys need to do something to get that advantage, unless you're going to play entirely for the enemy team making mistakes, which is a lot harder to rely on. Sometimes you guys have to take risks in these situations, but the most important thing is to be smart about it. Don't be careless just because I'm telling you to play a little more aggressive. And right here is an example of what happens in some of these down number situations. So obviously we're flipping the script here. I am the defender in this situation. We're gonna have a 2v1 retake, and there's just gonna be the fade left, and you'll see. And what's really important to remember about what I'm talking about is this happens in pretty much every game you play. How do people play when they're up or down numbers? Now, like I said, when you're down, sometimes you have to be a bit more aggressive. So right here, I'm able to take down the brim, gonna move forward, can't figure out where the fade is. I flash, call as U-Haul, and then the fade swings, my fade kills her, and now I'm stuck in a 1v1. And then this is where playing time comes in. The fade, able to take off just enough time from the clock to beat me. But that is why it's important to take fights early, isolate those fights. That's how you win the rounds. This game came down to 1 second, and that fade did just enough there, and we made a mistake, and she took advantage of it. And that is why they were able to win a round and the game. Now, number 2 is going to be playing for time. Probably one of the most important concepts in the entire game, and also probably one of the most commonly messed up. Generally speaking, we're playing for ults, we're playing for lineups, we're playing for our abilities, especially abilities that regen. Make sure you guys are communicating abilities that regen, like a smoke or a flash or whatever. But team coordination is massive. Communicating with your team, telling them what your plan is here is huge. Do not run away from site to play time, to play for lineups if your team is on site fighting actively. You guys need to be supporting each other. You need to be smart about how you're playing. But also, always try to get info on the spike taps. Remember, they have to sit on that spike for 7 seconds to defuse it. You have plenty of time to work with. Do not get antsy. Do not rush things. Always check to see if they're on it before you full commit. Then decide what your play is going to be. Playing for time is very valuable. If you're able to delay 5-10 seconds with util and then run away, that's massive. Early pressure can also hold them back, make enemies a little more hesitant to push in. But playing for time is a very important concept and something we'll cover a lot more in depth later in the guide. Now, another concept, understanding numbers and utility, right? What does a 5v5 retake look like? Well, it's going to look like util hell. Everyone's going to be dumping everything. But a 2v4 is much different than a 3v4 or a 2v1. Guns matter. What type of econ does the other team have? Are they on a bonus in eco? Who has the gun advantage, right? Are they all running ops, right? It's much harder to retake with ops. Are they, what type of ults do they have? Look at their ults. Are they coming in with multiple ults? Can they put a Viper's Pit down or something to completely cover the spike? Are they going to wall you off? Are they going to smoke you off if you play a long angle, play for a post plant? These things are very important. But what's really important is understanding what type of utility has been used during the game so far. Did you guys get into the site without much util? Great. You guys are in great shape. Did the enemy team dump everything they had to try to stop you? Again, great. Now they're at a huge disadvantage. But what happens when you take site, maybe trade kills, 4v4, use a bunch of util of your own, smokes, flashes, nades, whatever, but the enemy team was on the other side of the map for the most part. Not much was used. Well, guess what? You might be in a slight disadvantage here. They might have the upper hand when it comes to util. They might have full smokes, full flashes, and nades. Great info gathering, right? You have to play differently based on this. Understanding this is the first step, right? And then number 4 is sort of proper peeking etiquette. I'm just going to keep it nice and simple here. Swing with your teammates. Always swing with your teammates. If you're playing on site, you're up numbers, look for trades, play off of them, create crossfires. Do not let a teammate get isolated. Always have a way to help them. Minimap awareness is where this really comes in. Being able to check that minimap, figure out what's happening. Very, very important. Now, in situations where it's like a 2v1 post play, you're up numbers, peek together. And remember, always try to get info first before you peek if possible. Do a jump peek, do a jiggle peek. Do not just swing. And when you swing together. I really just don't care. This is a very important concept because this is where everyone loses. They'll peek one at a time, guy will tap them. Peek one at a time, guy will tap them. And that's how you lose 2v1s, 3v1s, right? Do not get isolated. Always play together. Good communication, very important. A few exceptions here, of course. If there's low time, I also think sometimes you could peek one by one a little bit, just because if you're able to get him off, someone's like low health, you can kind of sacrifice that player. There's like sub 15 seconds. Then your next guy just needs a delay for probably 3 to 4 seconds and you've won the round, right? That's a little bit different. Or someone is playing lineups. Sometimes you do want to sacrifice people a little bit, delay as much as you can, let those lineups have the, most effect that they can, and then go from there, right? And also make sure you're defending your guy doing the lineups too. A lot of the times I'll see this. See Long Haven, and a defender will run up long, kill the guy holding a bow out or something, kill the Sova trying to do a lineup. Make sure you're defending them as well. But overall, the concept stands. Swing together, peek off of teammates, do not get isolated. In no particular order, we're going to get into kind of part 2, which is the mental steps or the mental check that you should do when you are in a post plant. So first things first, right? We already covered it, but just make sure you've checked to make sure there's nobody on site, right? I mean, that's simple. Clear the entire site. Don't get surprised by that. But once the spike goes down, there's quite a few things I want you to do. First and foremost, you're checking the minimap and you're looking for team numbers. How many people are alive? Where are your teammates? Where are the enemies? And what are their last known locations? What information do you have on them? And you're also looking for space. Where can you take space or create more space? Is there an opening for you to push up, potentially catch the enemy by surprise? But also, you're looking to identify possible flanks. What's your flank look like? Could the enemy have gotten through? Do you have a trip down? Are you protected? You need to know the positions of every single player possible on the map. This will also help you set up crossfires, which is step number 2, right? Looking for crossfires with your teammate when you're defending that spike plant is massive. All right, so we're gonna quickly jump into an example, right? Take a second back from the guide. Look into this example here. This is a very important round, 12-11. This is match point. Don't want to go into overtime. And this is a great example of what I'm talking about. So if you're wondering, how do I play a crossfire? How do I play off teammates? Look at how my KO and I position ourselves. I'm helping to guard flank just in case. KO is playing back yellow. We're gonna be able to take fights and isolate these fights pretty well off of his contact. All right, this is what I mean when I say it. All right, now we'll get back into the video. You guys already know I covered this, right? Very important concept is playing off of teammates, not getting isolated, swinging together. So I always want you playing positions that can peek off of teammates' contact. This is known as playing off contact. When someone takes a fight with your teammate, you have to be able to immediately engage them as well from your position. Every single person on your team should have someone like this around them where they are able to peek together. No getting isolated. Do not let yourself get isolated in a fight. The only way you should be getting isolated is with the enemy team dumping util or with smart utility usage, whether it's flashes or smokes. Those are the only acceptable time. Step 3, I am looking at conserving and spreading out my abilities, as well as communicating some abilities that I have that can regen. For example, I might call out that I have my smoke in 5 seconds to let my teammates know, do not do anything stupid for the next 5 seconds. Let me get this smoke down. This is very important for things like mollies, flashes, smokes, right? You really have to look at your abilities and figure out what people have. Ask your teammates, hey, do you have this? Do you have that? Try to map out what your plan is moving forward. Don't just go in here raw, not knowing what your team has. Make sure you're making plays off of your remaining abilities. I see this too much in coaching. Too many people are dying on post plans with their full util available. Get the value, use those abilities to your advantage. And then step 4, I am looking to play for time potentially. I'm looking to play for taps, for lineups, depending on what's happening. Now, this kind of happens later during the post plan, about, when there's like under 25 or under 20 seconds left in a post plant. This is when playing time becomes very, very good. Because if a spike defuse is 7 seconds, as long as you can prevent that half, you really don't have much you need to do to win it, right? A little bit of util, maybe you have a molly left, and they're delayed to like another 5+ seconds anyways. So realistically, what you should be doing a lot of the time is looking for opportunities to play time and value your life, okay? Do not rely solely on lineups as well. This is a big mistake people make. Make sure you're helping your team, especially when you're up numbers. One way that people lose is when they're up numbers, too many people will try to play for a lineup or a post plant. People will get confused. Some will stay on site, some will run away. The guys on site get isolated, and now you're down numbers somehow, right? Don't do that. And remember, always try to be jump peeking for info on spike taps. Do not just commit to a tap, commit to a peek, excuse me. Always look for info first before you full commit, and then again, commit with your teammates. And remember, time is low and the spike is not tapped. You do not need to peek. Stop peeking when the spike is not tapped. That's how you get headshotted, and that's how you lose very, very easy rounds, okay? I need you guys to play smart here. Post plants is all about using that brain of yours, okay? Play as much time as you can, play off of teammates, delay time, use mollies on spike, whatever you can, right? Do not peek alone. Do not peek if the spike is not tapped. There's no point. Play your life, play your time. Very, very important. All right, so jumping into some examples of post plants. Right here we have a Pearl attack, okay? And this is Pearl B site. You guys know it's gonna have a super, super long sight line, but we're able to get down here with some walls, and I'm gonna get into this sort of elbow haul position. I'm gonna go for a plant here. Ideally, I'd have my wall up for this. Gotta take a kill first. Now, spike goes down, right? What are we talking about? Okay, this is a great, great spot to plant for long. What do? Over aggression, right? And this is where I fail my team in this round. I have full health. I try to spam out a player behind a wall. He's gonna get a quick kill on me. This is a type of over aggression that hurts. I didn't play numbers. I wasn't playing smart there. And we're gonna lose a 3v2, leaving my 2 low health teammates behind to try to take that on their own. So that was a great example of where, had I played my life, had I played time and played off of teammates more, we probably would win. I also had plenty of utility there left as well, in terms of my wall, getting my wall back up and having that be how we sort of win the round. Now, gonna go for that same exact plant a little bit later in this game. Let's see what happens here. Okay, spike goes down. This is a 5v4 now. Turn the corner, die instantly. Again, okay? You guys are seeing a pattern here. A little bit of over aggression from me, right? Not really getting into the right spots, but let's see what my team is able to do. So they are able to get some kills here, bring it into a 2v2. I've got my Fade on site, but I have another player playing sort of in that top long position with an op, right? So playing time here is very important. If Fade can stall out and get these guys, but Fade is going to go for a re-peek there and die, even though his teammate kind of had him covered. Our guy is going to miss an op shot. Now, this is a 1v2, but look at his position, right? How exactly are these guys going to win this? Chances are they can't, right? This is how you play a post plan. You play for time, you play your angles, you play for the tap. One guy goes on it, one guy pushes him, he's able to get the kill on both. That's how it's done. Isolating your gunfights, playing these long positions. He's not over peeking. He's not just staying up there trying to reshoot every time he misses. He's taking his time. He knows it takes 7 seconds to defuse that spike. So let's see what we have in store for us here. This is round 11. I go for the wall again. Going to be moving down here into sight. Now, the great thing here, my Yoru is clearing, right? Yoru is clearing with his ult, so I know it's relatively safe. Going to pop my ult right here. This is when we want to play for your ults, right? This is what I was telling you guys about earlier. You guys are looking to see which ults you have available and how you can use them. Viper ult, one of the best in the game for defending these post plants. Now, I'm going to get mollied out. So these abilities are telling me that the enemy team wants to start pushing in, so I have to be ready. Okay, I don't love playing against this corner, but I am able to kill the Viper there, thanks to my Viper's pit, essentially. And now we're in a 3v3. I have my Chamber playing with me in here as well. Yoru gets a nice little kill there, I believe, through my ult. I'm going to back up, take a little chip damage. Player walks through, dies again. My ult causing so much chaos. Run through, trade up my teammate. Just an easy round, right? Just playing off of your ult. I didn't get over aggressive. I tried to play my life a little bit there, and it worked out, unlike me just taking dry swings. Now, here's a 5v5. This is a very interesting round, okay? Enemy team's got some rifles in hand. Let's see what happens on this, right? So let's see what they do wrong, because again, we're retaking, right? This isn't a video on retakes. What does the enemy do wrong? Well, they're going to push in early, going to lose the ult, right? So that was very early into this post plant. They lose the Phoenix ult. They still have Fade ult. Chamber going to peek, get isolated, dies. So Chamber peeks early and dies. There's the kill. There's the kind of the follow up from the Phoenix, gets the kill. But I have some utility here, right? I got some abilities going for me. Gonna get onto site. Okay, they've all fallen away. What does this mean? I can tap spike, right? This is where they fail. They fail because I'm able to half this spike, giving us a great chance. I kind of play my life here. Phoenix pushes up very close to that. Definitely could have had a shotgun in this round. I'm unfortunately going to die there, but my teammate trades me out. So the enemy team here essentially did not plant for their post plant, right? They all decide, oh, we're going to get off site. We're going to play post plant. A couple stayed on, died, getting isolated. And then they were not in the right position for that plant, okay? Very important when you plant the spike to always plant it for where you're planning on playing. And if you're ever going to plant for B long, or if you're going to plant on B, I think you always want to plant for B long if possible. Right here again, right? Another defense, but let's see, why am I able to retake this? Well, we're able to get behind them. Enemy players are dying without trades. Like I said, you guys have to be getting traded, okay? This round should not have been this easy for us. This is a flawless round, a flawless retake, and it's because the attackers did not go for trades. They're all taking 1v1s. Now, very close game here, 11-10, going for my wall across a site. Teammates going in. Let's see what happens here. Was able to dodge that KO knife. Losing a teammate early brings us to a 4v5. Now, I hate this plant, but I'm going to get into here. I'm going to ult. I'm going to force this plant. I'm a little bit lucky to survive it, honestly. Going to back up into a molly, of course. Why not? Why wouldn't I back up into a molly? Going to be using some more abilities, kind of defend these guys. Since I don't have really help on site right now, I have to use my own molly to kind of force them back. And then I'm going to get out of there, right? Look at this. Look at this teamwork here. 4v4. Our entire team is off of site. I have my ult still going on site, denying vision, kind of playing time off of it. They have no idea if I'm in there, right? I don't have to stay in there. I don't care if that ult drops. We're playing post plant. We're just going to play for the taps. Op's able to get a kill. I drop my ult here. I'm just staying alive, right? Nice little collat there. I'm going to peek a little early maybe, but my teammates are going to be able to follow this up again. The entire team is on the same page. That's why this works, guys. Because we're communicating. We're talking to each other. We're all doing the same thing. No one's peeking early. No one's doing some dumb stuff. Right here, this is a 1v3, right? Bringing it into a 1v1 with our Sova here in a potential chance to win this game, right? So 1v1, so this is a clutch, okay? This is a guide for another day. But one very important thing I want to note about clutching when it comes to post plants is sometimes you have to be aggressive. Remember when I was telling you guys about adding aggression? Watch this. Plants, swings, shoots. Sometimes it's what you have to do. When you're on low health and you know the guy can be close to you, you got to make a play like that. All right, guys, let's finish the video off strong with a nice little post plant example here, playing on A site Haven. This is a 4v4 Once site is taken, the attackers have full control. Now, attackers positioning. Omen is in hell holding a cross with Phoenix for CT. Phoenix is in graffiti holding the cross with Omen for, again, CT. Sova is going to be top sewer holding the heaven drop and the heaven play. And Raze is going to be holding long and holding flank. Now, the defenders who need to retake the site. Neon is on the flank. Of course, she is playing solo. Brim, Fade are going to be retaking from CT. And the Jet is going to be retaking from heaven, right? Good split by these defenders, honestly. Now, how do each team win the round? Well, the attackers here, it's simple, right? Play the crossfires properly. Use the abilities you have. So as you see, Omen has dropped his smoke down for CT to make this push hard to delay an extra 15 seconds. Phoenix is going to have a flash available once contact is made to blind these players, most likely again when that smoke is gone. Sova is going to be covering drop. Raze can also rotate to help with the drop play from heaven as well. She's not all alone there or anything like that, right? So there's a teamwork here at play. Sova can also move down into sewer if needed and cover this flank if the Neon crosses. If Neon crosses and Raze isn't able to take that kill, she'll shift her focus to covering heaven, right? As you can see, teamwork, good communication. And then these players coming in, again, they're funneling through a choke. They have to come through. This is a great crossfire between the Phoenix and the Omen. Most likely, this is going to be a 1-for-2 trade where Phoenix will probably end up dying, unfortunately. But most likely, the Fade and the Brim are going to go down. Jet will try to drop. If anything, she might be able to get a lucky kill on the Omen, but most likely is going to get traded out by the Raze. And most of the time, it's actually going to go in favor of the attackers. And then it's all up to the flanker. And depending on the timing of the flanker and what your team is able to do, they might not have any impact in this round at all, right? This might be something like this, where you know she's coming, but you're holding more of an off angle, trying to kind of bait her into pushing. You guys are able to reposition and you win off the round off of that. Again, this is where the crossfires come into play, right? This is where playing as a team comes into play on post plans. Everyone has a job. Everyone is watching something and you're rotating around to support each other, whether it was the Raze watching heaven or watching long, and then shifting that priority over to Sova, who then takes control of that position, right? This is teamwork. This is how you play a post plan, right? You got to be flexible, but you got to play off of each other. A 4v4 here is a great example. Playing together, good positioning. Everyone has a job and everyone's doing something. No one is just playing for themselves. And that, my friends, is how you win a post plan. And guys, that's where we're going to end today's video on post plans. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. Comment what you want to see next, and I will see you guys next time. Take it easy and peace.